Okay, good morning everyone and assalamu alaikum. Today our special guest is Mr. Anjani Kumar. He is from India and I am requesting Ms. Tamanna to introduce him.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity for letting me introduce Mr. Anjani Kumar sir. Mr. Anjani Kumar, Country Manager, India and SAARC, Raritan and ServerTech, with 18 plus years of passion and continuous learning, commitment to deliver right solutions that add value to customers' environment, inspired him to gain hands-on experience in the product and technology in his field. He believes in designing and positioning right solution that delivers value to customers and gaining confidence as a trusted source in providing solutions that would address the core objective of the customer. This approach helped him in retaining relations with all his customers in the past years and helped him build success stories with major big accounts in all verticals, including IT, defense, and government. Thank you. Now I will request our sir, Mr. Masud Parvez, to take the honor and continue the session.
Yeah, thank you Tamanna for giving in depth details about him. So now Mr. Anjani, it's your turn. So I think you can share us your journey of your life actually.
Okay, today I'm not going to talk about technology or the products which I sell, which is normally what I do in most of the forums. But Mr. Masood Bhai has asked me to share my experience, my journey, how I started this career and how I landed up here, wherever I am today. So I'll tell you what made me to choose the path which I've taken to take my journey. I don't say I've reached my destination yet, but it's been a wonderful journey so far. So I was from a very middle class family, from like most of us are, right? I was from a mid-town, not small town, but mid-town, with a lot of people around. Thanks to my parents, they've given me a good education to a certain extent. And my mother always wishes me to be the best in whatever I do. That's what she told. And I lost her when I was about 14 years. I always wanted to fulfill the promise that I kept or I made to her. So I was been thinking, my father has a lot of responsibilities. He could just give us what any father could give, is the education. So I've done my schooling and college in normal schools, not great schools, not hi-fi schools or hi-fi universities, from a very affiliated college, which you call it as, right? I'm a BSc electronic graduate. I'm not an MBA. I'm just telling you because I had a passion to complete MBA, but I couldn't because of an economical situation. Then coming from the background of an mid-town and a middle-class family, you always have a lot of hesitation to approach anybody for anything that you wanted, or if you want to learn something, etc. And all. I've tried working at my hometown in mid-enterprises, small enterprises, for like daily wages in way back in 2000 when I completed my graduate for 2 years. I was happy, I was earning on my own, but then I understood that, you need something bigger. You need to do something different than what you're doing today. With the graduation, just you can't really go up. And I have to assess what is that is stopping me not to grow. Then I understood that the hesitation, which is stopping you to approach anybody, to ask anything, not just help, but also in case if you're not aware of something, you want to learn something, you need to seek mentorship. Then you have this hesitation. Will they approve me? Will they consider me? Then I decided you should start something called sales which will tell you how to approach somebody. But I don't know anything about sales. I've never got a chance to sell anything, go to anybody and ask anything. That's the limitation when you are with the protective family, giving everything that you need, like food, shelter, and normal things I'm talking about, right? Then I just shifted to Hyderabad. Nothing, I don't know anybody in that town or city. Chosen a sales job. My first job is not in IT. I was selling, I can say, a concept-based ads or medias, which I'm just learning first thing. But when in this journey, what you have to understand is, if you have passion, you have to accept somebody, whoever is teaching you, as your guru. It doesn't matter who it is. So I always see my bosses as my gurus. Because unlike today, there are no institutes which can teach you so many things. And MBA was not very famous or very affordable thing at those days, right? There was no much exposure to the distance education. And again, I'll say, you will learn the process, the system, the methodology in the books, in theory. But the practical learning is much, much higher. The exposure that gives is completely different. So what you learn from books also has to be implemented. So I consider between 2000 and 2006, I've done my MBA, not through books, not through university, by practical learning in the field. So I've been always following what my bosses have told, the skills, the approach, how to treat a customer, how to approach him, okay, how to greet him, okay, even the body language. This all has been taught by my bosses. So you have to take that mentorship very seriously. Everybody will not be cautious like how the lecturers or teachers would be in the schools and colleges, right? Here it is a job that to be delivered. So there will be a little, I don't say harsh, but it is an hard way of mending you. You need to be prepared for that, okay? Today, we see that, because we grow up in a very sensitive areas, we are not ready to take that hard mentorship. You feel bad if somebody says something with a little high volume of voice. That's not anger, or that's not a hate that they're expressing towards you. They are ensuring that you take it seriously by expressing that way. And that is how I used to take, and I believe that is what they meant. And I still have my bosses mentoring me even today. I still work with my first boss. I talk to him. We discuss a lot of things, okay, how things are changing, etc. and on. So you always have to have a guru or a mentor in your life, not necessarily a lecturer or a professor in the school or college, but whom you can learn something from him or her, for that matter. So then that job was not really IT job, and I don't know anything about IT except computer. And I think I know Yahoo email was very famous that time, and open a web browser and send a resume to somebody who can offer me a job. So I decided after working there for 1.5 years that I should change my gate to something that is growing. So I have assessed my skills that from sales. So I've learned basic sales. So now my hesitation is little away. But what I'm doing is the same job of selling ad, medias, paper ads, etc. on day-to-day basis. So after doing my research, assessing myself again, this is something which you have to do. Assess yourself. Don't get settled. Don't get satisfied for what you are at where you are. Think what is that you have received in the last journey, maybe a 1 year of journey or 1.5 years of journey, and where you want it to be. If there is no satisfaction in what you're doing it, you may not grow there. So you have to do anything with for a satisfaction. Rest all follows. Your growth in terms of financial growth, your car or something will always follow, your position follow when you deliver something with your satisfaction. It's very difficult to see whether the opposite person is satisfied or not. But first question, are you satisfied? If you're not satisfied, I think you're not doing the right job. That's what I feel. So I've moved from the media segment to an IT. I remember Mr. Ramesh Vemugamti, who has given me my first job. He is an mentor today, and he motivates, and he does come to Bangladesh for a lot of events. You can search his name in Google. You can see Ramesh Vemugamti. He gave me the first job, looking at only my interest and passion, not my education, not my experience, because there is no experience in IT at that point of time. And the salary was not so great, but the opportunity was great. So he gave me the opportunity, and I always want to prove that I can deliver, because he very clearly told me about that what am I in that industry that day? That is, I am nothing. You're nothing. Nobody knows you. Nobody will trust you. Nobody will give you business. There's only an opportunity that I can give, but all the hard work is what you have to do. All the learning is what you have to do. So he's the first one who told me this. I accepted that, and I've always tried to put my best efforts in proving that I am something in that market. Right? What he said is right. Nobody knows me. Nobody is there to help me. All I have to do is my hard work, and I have to deliver. So starting with that, as I told you, I don't know anything about except opening an PC, and PC was not dedicated laptops or PCs those days. 2 or 3 computers in office, and everybody has to share. No mobiles. So you have to go in the field, talk to clients, give your visiting card. They will call to your office. By the time you come back in the evening, your coordinator or front office staff will tell you how many calls you've got. So you have to return their calls, and then you have to wait for your turn to get your PC, and then work to send an email or a quotation or an offer or a data sheet, anything in those days, right? Now here is a challenge. The PC is not available for a full time. You can't practice much, and I'm not skilled much. So I have to learn from every peer in that office. Anything that I can learn as a tip. Maybe a control S that will help me to save. Likewise, okay? So you have to look at every individual, what all you can learn from them. It's not because you're working in the same office and you're reporting to your boss, you can only look at your managers and bosses that can give you commands or that can teach you. No, there is an opportunity to learn. What happens if you do this? You will learn quickly and fastly. If you have something, you share. And if you have something to learn, you try an opportunity to take from them. This also helps you to build relations, because you are seeking help to learn something from your peer. You will maintain a healthy relation with your colleagues. So then I got my boss, because Ramesh Vemugamti was leading the team in that region for Hyderabad. So after testing me in different segments like systems, services. Systems is basically a division which sells computers, laptops are very, very expensive those days. Okay, printers, etc. and all. And then services is basically a facility management services or an AMC services that companies take. And then there is to be another division called networking. Networking was a very new division. LAN was still a concept to sell. People used to have PCs in their offices, but not connected. The floppies are still on. They used to exchange the data. And I think there used to be one machine hardly which used to have a postmaster kind of thing, which will download all the mails and then further distribute it to local machines, right? If there is a connectivity. So I've been given to Mr. Ravi Prasad, who was leading the networking division at that time. As I told you, it's very new, and the networking as a concept itself is new. The LAN, we have to go and explain how LAN works. That's how we used to do. So I approached Mr. Ravi Prasad to teach me networking. He says, sorry boss, we have to do business here. Teaching comes along the way. You have to learn while doing your job. There is no separate sessions for mentoring you. There is no separations for giving you gyan and all. Learn throughout the journey. That's what he said. Then every day evening after coming back to office, we used to sit for a couple of hours, discuss what we have asked for by the customer, and then he used to explain how this can be done. So there is no special guidance of this thing. It is all part of learning from many people around as a part of it, right? So at this stage, I also would like to share or highlight So I'll highlight that those days I don't have even a bike. My remuneration or the salary package is very low. I had to go by bus to a specific location where the IT companies or new offices would come, and then you have to go by walk on door to door and see that I cover the maximum customers, right? Again, law of average is something you have to learn. You can't just meet 3-4 customers and have good requirements and expect that you will win 2 or 3 out of 4. Not possible. The law of average is basically you cover the maximum, you will get the minimum. Maybe at a people who are at an early stage, I think 1:10 is what you have to consider. If you meet 10 good customers and you approach them appropriately, if they consider you, if they give you requirement also, then when you approach and after all the fight and considerations, so many ifs and buts, which you will learn over a period of time, you will get 1 or 2 orders. That means you have to have at least 10 good prospects, right? So considering that, that's how the journey used to be. Go to office in the morning, check if there is any pending work that need to be done. Go back to the field, again come back and learn what you can and respond to your clients. That's where I've learned my first PC skills using Excel, using an email, everything. In a span of 2.5-3 years, this journey went. After 6 months of my joining in the networking division, Mr. Ravi Prasad chosen to go to a different company as part of his career, right? That's an opportunity I've seen, and Mr. Ramesh Vemuganti has given me an opportunity to handle that division, just because there is no leader to handle that part, and it has been a small time frame before they recruit somebody in the place of Ravi Prasad. I thought I should take that opportunity very seriously, and I started doing business, taking everything on my ownership, not just going and meeting clients. I was networking, structured cabling. I was involved with the implementation team. How do they lay? How do they crimp? That's where I learned about the hands-on experience on the networking part. So I used to go, and then when we are, my team was laying the cables or something, I was there always on the field along with the customer, because it's my commitment I've delivered to the customer. Customer has trusted and given me the order. I want to ensure that everything is going smooth. So as a process, I've laid cables, I've crimped them, okay, I've configured switches. As I told you, I'm not an IT guy. I don't know anything. So I haven't learned networking in schools and colleges. But when you have passion, when you go through a lot of reading through manuals, etc. and all, you will pick it up. It's not definitely a rocket science. Anything is not a rocket science, including rocket science is not a rocket science that you cannot understand. As long as you have that passion to learn, when you have a commitment to fulfill your promise that you made to somebody. That here we are trying to fulfill a commitment that we have made to customer. How can I deliver exactly what I promised? How can I ensure that nothing is going wrong? Today we see somebody is taking the order and they hand it over to the technical team. So we see that, the job ends there. No, the job doesn't end there. The job only ends when your customer is satisfied with your deliverables. So if there are 5 teams involved, you have to talk, you have to involve yourself, you have to make friends, build relations with the entire implementation team. To the last person in the office, even if he's your office assistant who is going to deliver an invoice to customer by hand or collect a payment by check by hand, you need to have your relation, because that guy goes and gives an impression, greets your customer, approaches. This is all very important because you are serving a customer who is important to you and who wants you to come back with more business but not compliance, right? So you have to understand, and that's what made me to be on the site, to involve myself in delivering the right solutions to the client, what as per the promises that we made. And after that, I've got enough good clients. I still remember the clients. I'm sure my clients remember me. Many clients, all of my colleagues, they are in different companies, different parts of the world right now. They do still remember me. Thanks to many social platforms which we can get in touch now. That was when mobile was very expensive, right? So that commitment has made Ramesh Vemaganti not to recruit any manager, but made me a manager for that division. So I have managed the division with the help of my other managers in the other divisions with their guidance. At least I don't know if I have to say effectively, but productively. We've been always delivering what company is expecting. We've been delivering what customers are expecting. I don't say there are no complaints, but wherever there's a problem, first you have to make a point that you have to go and sit in front of the customer or pick up your phone nowadays, because it's difficult to say it. See that your customer is attended. He gets a feeling that he is heard from whatever he's telling. He might be yelling, he might be shouting, doesn't matter. But stand in front of him or listen and explain that you are there to solve the problem. It's a journey, it's a technology, it's an electronics that we are dealing. Problems do come. There is no way that you can complete something without problems. Problems are part of this journey. Every problem gives you an opportunity to learn something new. So you shouldn't run away from the problem, but you should stand there and listen and explain what caused that problem and how you're trying to resolve that. Even if you don't have a solution at that point of mind, express your intention to solve. If customer sees that commitment, that your involvement in resolving that solution, he will wait. He will give you the time to resolve. But if you push it to somebody else and say, sir, I did my job, it is his problem, he has to do it, that doesn't work if you are trying to lead or if you're trying to. No matter whether it is part of your job, no matter whether it is your role or whether you are paid for that or not. If a customer is approaching you with a problem, that means he's considering you as an owner to that part of the work, right? That role or maybe that division. So you have to accept that ownership. Without accepting the ownership, you can't become the leader. You will never get a chance to lead anything, because first, you're not there when there is a problem. That means you are not dependable. That means people will stop trusting you. So this, you shouldn't give that dilemma to anybody when you're working. So this is what is running in my mind at that point of time. And Ramesh Vembuganti has never recruited another manager. I've continued the journey for 4 years and then moved on to a different company. So I've learned in a system integration how things work. I want to see the world from a little high. So I have decided to join a value added distributor, I can say. I don't say a hardcore distribution ship, but value added distribution ship. So that's where I came across Raritan. It was a brand again on the KVM side. And it's a very small office. I think we only have the front office space. It's a Pune-based organization, started operations in Hyderabad. They've been running that organization for some time. They're looking a little senior, right? So from an executive, though I was handling networking division, etc. in my previous organization, they never gave me a title of a manager, or they never gave me a title of assistant manager, nothing. I'm still a senior business executive there. From business executive, I could become senior business executive in 4 years' time. But I've considered that 4 years is more of my learning like MBA, right? So here they gave me an opportunity of becoming an assistant manager, a small team, a technical engineer, and a senior business executive to work with me. So this is their new operations in Hyderabad, and they want me to establish the business by reaching maximum people and selling whatever I can sell from these two brands. Raritan and Raritan were the only two brands I have. Again, I was doing networking, and this is something called KVM. KVM was a concept there, new concept, again, to explain to customers. Again, I have to learn everything from scratch. So they gave a little mentoring. The head office or the corporate office is far away. And here the challenge is you don't have a manager to report, or you don't have a regional manager like Ramesh Vembuganti to guide you and mentor you. So here you got an office, nothing but a front office space, but the office is big, but it has yet to be established. And on the same bench we used to work. By now technology has gone a little flexible, so we got our own PCs, independent PCs. Mobiles have become common thanks to Reliance in India. So we have small phones, company provided phones. So now it is easy to take appointment, reach. Now this, I mentioned earlier, I was dealing with only end customers because of a system integrator. Now I have a mixed challenge of dealing with partners, other partners, and end customers as well. Now I have to go back to partners where I've considered as my competitors in my previous organization. Ask them for business. This is another different challenge, right? You have to have a different mindset to work with multiple partners. And where you are competing till now you're going and asking to help them to grow the business. So this is again a challenge to learn. What I've made sure is that now everybody in this market should know by name, and when they talk about this product, the KVM, whatever it is, they should recognize me by the brand and by the name as well. So I've ensured that I reach every customer possible, every partner possible in that market. In 1.5 years, we have covered maximum market, and we have grown business of that company from 1 times to 3 times. Thereafter, it's been good growth. And I have learned most of the things about Raritan in that organization. So that company also gave me an opportunity to deal with larger companies as a platform, like Microsoft Campus was new in Hyderabad at that point of time. So we have dealt with Microsoft. I used to manage Microsoft as an account. With the help of my colleagues, people used to come from Pune to guide me how to deal with the Microsoft, etc. and all. And this learning, we have started that career. That's where I came across Raritan. and I have same product from two different brands, Aten and Raritan. This is a choice where you have to make what to be positioned appropriate to the customer. That is not possible unless you know the product in depth about its features, functionalities. So every day evening, I used to come and sit on the box and gain hands-on experience to see how this box works. Because it is easy to go and say, by giving a brochure or a catalog, this is what this product does, this is what this product does, choose what you want. You have to position yourself as a consultant in front of the customer to let them choose what is best for them, but giving them all the necessary information and differentiating what X does and what Y does. Right? This is only possible when you learn about the product in depth. So if you are in the sales or marketing, just don't limit yourself for tackling the customer, sending data sheets, sending invoices. You should learn about the product and the concept in depth. The more you know about the product, the knowledge will help you to position and ensure that you don't give wrong commitments to your customers. Right? One wrong commitment will help you lose a customer, but also will make you look very bad in the market as well. So to reduce such mistakes, you have to read about the product, learn as much as possible, and then position it appropriately. So we have differentiated and the positioning has gone good. And that's, I worked from 2006 to 2009 in that organization. And in the journey, they have added many products, the security products, load balancers, bandwidth management devices. So every product we are learning, we are positioning. I've sold every product, and these are new to the country itself. They're not existing or competitive products. The technologies are new to the whole country as an industry, and you have to go and sell as a concept. So this is something which has been not proven in the industry, which is not common, which customer is not asking for. You have to go educate him, tell him how exactly it helps, and do a proof of concepts. And the sales cycle is always long when you are selling a concept based or new technologies in the market. The sales do not happen every day, every week, every month, even then. Your sales journey might go from anywhere between 3 months to 9 months when you're selling a concept, right? So all these products, I can probably say that I've sold most of the products first time in the country, the clients in my region, because the activity that we're doing, very good. Every day evening, in the day, we used to go to office, meet clients, send quotations, everything. Every day evening, we used to sit in the office, me and my colleagues, to get the box, see what can be done. And I have made most of my relations with my technical peers as a sales guy. The reason is they can teach you a lot because they are technical, they have hands-on experience. So do not just hand over a proof of concept work to a technical engineer and say, okay, this is my customer, I have to do this POC, please finish it up. You can do that once you have an hands-on experience on that product, or once you know that. I mean, gaining hands-on experience is subject to each individual's passion and interest. But if you have that, you can do a better with positioning technology to end customers. Say, any other product is different compared to the technology. If you want to sell as solution, you need to know about it. You can't just go by the brochure or a catalog and say, this is what the product it does, what it does. That's, in my views, it's little difficult. So this journey, the learning, and we've been at, I've been at client places, late evenings to do POCs along with my engineers, just to ensure that, everything is going fine. At the same time, also to take a chance of learning something that I can take it as an extra. So I've gained experience, hands-on experience as a part of this journey while working with my engineers and ensuring that what we are promising is what we're exactly delivering. So this has got us a lot of clients, and we've grown the business. That's where Mr. Sanjay Motwani, who is the Vice President Asia Pacific now, has recognized me in that company and gave me an offer to join Raritan in 2009. So I've joined Raritan in 2009, moved to Bangalore from Hyderabad because I have to handle from one region to entire Southeast region, right? New city, new clients, no relations again. Nobody knows me in this market as well. The journey starts again from first. All that I have is Hyderabad. That market knows me. There are people who can help me. So I've made that Hyderabad as a region becomes independent. I've ensured that my business is secure there. That has started giving me. And I started focusing on developing South, like Bangalore, Chennai, other cities, regions, and develop. So new partners, new customers, the same journey I started here. And I think now it is about 10 years. I've completed 10 years. I'm on the 11th year now. I joined way back in 2009. So Sanjay gave me an opportunity to handle South. And by continuous efforts and hard work and delivery, it's always, if you commit, you have to deliver. The promise made either to your boss or to your customer or somebody has to be honored no matter what. So that commitment has made me to deliver whatever I committed to Sanjay. And Sanjay never has to look back or micro monitor me. I mean, he never does. But I also believe that I also have never given a chance to do that. In 10 years, then once the South sets with clients, and we have so many clients, right, in the defense research of development, large accounts in Bangalore, like Cisco, Intel. So these all are my clients even today. But the journey is not smooth or easy. Nobody trusts you on day one. You have to be in continuous touch. Give them information. Do a little bit of POCs here and there. And see, prove that, you're not going to run away. You're going to be around them for something or other thing. You may not get the business on first approach, first try. You might lose. You might go till the last minute of closing a deal, and for some reasons, they would give away the business to somebody else, right? So what you have to understand is there are many things that influence for you to get an order, not just a good product, a good sales guy. That's all not enough. You need to understand the customer, and you have to start mapping the customer. So in my first journey, I've learned about networking. Second journey, I learned about KBMs and various products and concept selling. In Raritan, I've learned about mapping an account, the key account management. That's what I learned in this organization. How to build a long-lasting relation with an end customer. You need to understand. Many times we go and ask, what is your requirement? Or sometimes customers give us a requirement and we go and address that. For any requirement, there is a want and there is a need. You need to understand what exactly customer needs. What is the objective that he's trying to meet? Are we part of that success story? Are we delivering what helps customer to achieve as an objective or try to resolve a problem that he is considering it to be serious for his organization? If you don't understand that, and if you just give you a product saying that's okay, he has a given requirement, he might ask you, give me a network switch. If you code for a network switch that will not give you a business, you should know whether that network switch is meeting customer requirements or not. Is that solving his problem or not? Otherwise, what happens? You will end up positioning a product that does not have such features or such capabilities, will not meet customer. Because of your relation, customer would entertain, try and push it. But somewhere during the assessment, he will feel that it is not fitting and it can be pushed away, right? So what happened? You don't have a relation, you have a relation. Is your product bad? No, it is good. It's just not meeting the customer objective. So to position the right product, you need to understand what customer is actually looking for. Not in terms of his wish list. He may ask, I want this and this, but you don't stop at want. Probe till the need. What exactly is trying to do there? What is his objective? What is he planning to do? See, every individual has an objective. Okay, like we plan and the sales and the marketing that we have a targets to achieve till the year end. Do something in Q1, do something in Q2, do something in Q3. Every end customer also has a similar planning and objectives. They want to establish an office, they want to do networking, they maybe want to do install an SAP like application, then they want to focus on security, then they want to focus on storage. So it's a long journey, right? So you have to be part of the journey by understanding what is their objectives and what is their roadmap and how they're going to plan this. So you will also understand the budgets available, what's their priority, what's their not priority. There's no fun in following for a thing that is going to come after 6 months or 9 months, right? So 10 years, this is the journey. And after South, I've given the responsibility of West. We developed West. And then I become a national sales manager, then country manager for India. Sanjay moved to Asia Pacific role. Then I also added the teams in each individual region. So I have my colleagues who are traveling with me for more than 7-8 years now, while I have a 10 years journey. So Hyderabad is given to another colleague. Now South, I have another colleague. For West, I have another colleague. And for North, I have another colleague. So while teaching what you have learned and while continuous learning, I've reached here and I've also given a responsibility for India and SAARC countries now. I hope what I've delivered for India, I can deliver for Bangladesh and other countries as well. So I have my colleagues who are continuously supporting me, and it's a teamwork. You're not alone unless you wanted to be alone. So this is my journey so far. So I haven't told anything about technology today, but this is all about how you can grow from nothing to something, at least. And nobody knows your name, nobody knows your position, but today market recognizes me. If you ask about Raritan, definitely I'm sure they know, they will always think about a name, and it's my name. That's how we've been in this market, and hope this story inspires you. And do not limit yourself with what you are. Everybody can achieve if I can achieve. And I'm always happy to answer more questions in case if you have any. Thank you. Thanks for this wonderful opportunity. Thanks, Masood Bhai. Thanks for listening to me. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, Anjani. Actually, in the morning, you have given us the time. So today is also working day. You have a lot of work also. So now I will request Professor Iqbal sir to say something about Anjani. He has spent his very valuable time with us.
Thank you, Parvez. Mr. Anjani, what not you spoke? You described your life story. You said how struggle life you have and how you have grown up. So what lessons we are getting from you is that commitment to right solution, that's most important, and designing for the satisfactions of the customers. So customers should satisfy, and I have found that you have all the time addressed one thing, what customer needs. That's the marketing, that's the international marketing. And second question is this, how delivery it was. Effective delivery, quick delivery, commitment delivery, and after that come the repairing side or service side, whatever you have. Now, you also said how to get higher educations. And there are some hurdles in the educations. You have overcome those hurdles with your patience and commitment. This is the most important thing what my students should also understand. Then you also mentioned about the practical learning, how it helps you to grow up so much. And I believe that you have different product ideas, networking and other things. I don't understand with more technical things, but I think you have diversified your knowledge in different areas. That helps you. And also your educations with experience and practical learning helps you to what you are today. And finally, I have to say, I believe one thing, that is your mother bless you. So mother's blessing is always glorious for the son. I salute you, mother. I salute your parents so that they have given you the proper educations in proper time. So with this, and I believe that our listeners will be inspired and motivated by your real life story. It's not a cinema. What you said is a real life. I was feeling, so ups and down, and money is not an important thing to start. Important thing is to learn. So you start, as you said, you started so little, 2000 or something like that, but you don't bother with the money. You are all the time thinking how to learn. I must learn the work. I must learn the environment. I must work with a team. So these things are there. And I'm sure in future also you'll be more prosperous, and Mr. Parvez will invite you to Bangladesh to give a live lectures like this today. I'm sure thousands students will be inspired by your lectures. Thank you, Mr. Anjani. Thank you, Parvez.
Iqbal sir, for your kind information, Anjani visited several times in Bangladesh, and in our last two exhibition, he came here, he gave his valuable speech. And this year also we have a exhibition, DCT Summit, but this one will be the virtual one. So due to COVID, we cannot do in physical one. So this one will be, summit will be 20 and 21st November. So I hope that we shall get everyone's support. It's a very good platform to transform the knowledge so that there will be no knowledge gap. You know, they have international exposure. So our country people, they will get from local, they will get the international exposure kind of things. So now I will, the floor is open for our students. So if anyone want to ask any kind of questions to Mr. Anjani, they can ask. So anyone have any questions? Yeah, I think Anjani, he tell from end start to end. So I was also speechless. I also could not make any question. So how will make a question? No problem, sir. So thank you again for everyone for joining. Thank you very much.